April showered us with gems like Akira Toriyama's vibrant Sandland, Moon Studios' hauntingly beautiful No Rest for the Wicked, and the long-awaited Euyiden Chronicles, a spiritual successor that rekindled the magic of the Suikoden series. And the month of May brings a fresh bounty of RPGs and indie delights, some hidden gems waiting to be discovered, and one juggernaut game that might steal the entire month. Let's dive into the 10 upcoming games that will guarantee to quench your thirst for epic journeys and innovative experiences. Starting this list off with Nine Souls, stated to be a PC and Switch launch as of May 29th. Players do get to immerse themselves in this beautiful, rich, and stunning Souls-like Metroidvania, Nine Souls. This RPG is a hand-drawn 2D side-scrolling masterpiece that offers not only intense deflection-based combat, but also a captivating narrative set in this martial arts backdrop. This fascinating world blends ancient Chinese aesthetics with futuristic technology, creating a visually stunning and thematically intriguing environment for your adventure. There was a demo back in last year that allowed players to check it out and have fun with boss rush challenges. The game is overall a Souls-like with a Metroidvania theme. The overall visuals is absolutely just stunning. There's so much that goes into this game and the way that it looks. And the demo was overall pretty decently long as well. I think I played around maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, just having fun with like the main story and just running into the in-game boss rushes. Overall, I feel like a lot of people will enjoy Nine Souls, adding it to the list as another Souls-like Metroidvania right to that bucket list. Next, we have Gestalt, Steam, and Cinder. This is a PC release that is coming out May 21st. For those of you who pretty much wants that golden age of gaming, then Gestalt, Steam, and Cinder delivers a delightful dose of nostalgia, being inspired by that 16 and 32-bit classics. Gestalt seamlessly fuses tight platforming and pretty fun combat with a gripping story that pretty much unfolds within a breathtakingly crafted steampunk world. The game can be charming by the pixelated perfection, and this platformer, it looks absolutely phenomenal. Like the game, the combat looks great. I definitely can't wait to get my hands on it May 21st, and it's overall like it has that difficulty, especially when you look at like the trailers and the overall gameplay. The difficulty is definitely there. It's quite like another Metroidvania that has a bit of like that platformer difficultiness, like kind of like Crash Bandicoot and all of them. Overall, Gestalt seems like it's going to be a great game for anybody who's looking for a steampunk and Souls in a sense. Next, we have RoboBeat. This is a PC release going for May 16th. RoboBeat throws down a thrilling looter shooter that blends music and combat, very quite similar to games like Metal Slinger. You do take on a role as the character Ace, a bounty hunter that is tasked with capturing a rogue robot named Frazer within his lair. The gameplay focuses on the rhythm as you pretty much wall run, slide, or shoot your way through robotic armies to finish the game. Every move syncs with the music, creating a captivating and dynamic combat experience. You can pretty much customize all of your tracks to help yourself build a nice long-lasting combo, something that you can be able to master and go along with the beat of you. But every time the beat changes or the overall scenery changes, your weapons will pretty much lock them in, attacking at the same time as the beat to create this melodic metal. Like I said, it reminds me definitely of Metal Slinger, this melodic theme to it, and pretty much just creating your own music with destruction and chaos that surrounds you. This is probably one of my favorites on this list as like indie games or games you probably wouldn't even know that were coming out. That symphony and music while mixing it with combat, it definitely brings the inner rhythm gamer out of me essentially, because I love playing games like Guitar Hero and Rock Band and any of those type of games. Even Osu is too. That's another like good music game. But when you get that rhythm, and then you make it into like its core, incorporate it into its core gameplay. Oh, sign me up. I love every second. Moving on, we have Dread Delusions. Now, this one, of course, is not just now coming out. For some of you who are watching this clip, this is a game that has already been out. But I am adding the fact that it is leaving early access, which basically means that this is its time to shine at its most. It is now hitting its official 1.0 launch. And Dread Delusion, for some of you who may not know, is a game that is under development by an indie team developer by Lovely Hell Place and released for early access by Dread XP back in June 2022. Now, Dread Delusion is marketed as an open world RPG and with plenty of exploration, while combat it's more of a side piece in this game. The best way that it's been stated as, and the best way that it's been shown similarities to, is the fact that it's similar to Elder Scrolls Morrowind. That very Bethesda vibe, RPG combat plus the exploration, and it just being this open world hell space. And it was made by an indie team. I felt like that is very cool, and they feel like they are ready for launch after having this game through early access for almost 2 years now. They're like, we're ready for it. I actually can't wait to hop into it. I did not play during this early access, so I'll definitely be playing it in its 1.0 launch. Now, being one of my favorite gacha games to come out as of recently, or I've been hoping to come out as of recently, we have the Wuthering Waves. Now, this is coming out for PC and mobile as well. It's coming out back in May 22nd, essentially. Wuthering Waves is an action RPG, is now joining that free-to-play mobile and PC scene. Wuthering Waves do receive a lot of comparisons to Genshin Impact. Now, this retro RPG is for one hell of a trip down for any retro RPG enthusiast. Skald Against the Black Priory is stated for release on PC, coming out May 30th, and is a love letter to the golden age of classic PC RPGs, offering a classic experience with a very much modern twist. We can pretty much immerse ourselves in a fully narrative presented in all its authentic 8-bit glory. Pretty much we can transport to a simpler time of pixel heroes and turn-based combats. Like, when I say simple, this goes way like in their 80s and 70s when games, in the 90s where games were like really coming up, especially on PC. But with the benefit of a more modern design and sensibilities, therefore, to keep the experience pretty much fresh and engaging, Skald definitely has a lot to offer, trying to really show that even in, 50, 60 years later, that these type of games are still loved, and they can always find a new players and new growth for those love of those type of games, especially anything that's pixelated. It gives me nostalgia. I love how like my channel has some form of a pixelated like lo-fi vibe to it as well, and with overall like these 8-bits, 16 bits, and all these type of games that are very much retro are having this time overall that allows it to really be great. And I can't wait for, more games to really have these type of designs and go better and better overall, and just show that, even though that is a lost in time, it can always be done in a better modern take, essentially. And speaking of retro inspired games and having more of a modern take, we have Crow Country. It is stated for a PC, and if I'm not mistaken, Switch as well. It's coming out May 9th, and I remember playing this demo back when it first dropped, and Crow Country looks to give the love letter to Resident Evil 1, but the year is set in 1990 this time around, and an unsettling silence hangs over the once lively Crow Country theme park. 2 years have passed since the park's owner, Edward Crow, vanished without a single trace, and here we are, the cop, essentially now to arrive on duty at the gates of the Mara Forest, the overall gateway to Crow Country. The way the game starts off and the graphics has this PlayStation 1 inspired vibes around it. the way the combat and aiming in this game is so nostalgic, with having tank controls and as well as a mix of modern day controls. Definitely makes Crow Country an easy buy for anyone wanting the modern take on the survival horror genre. Then if y'all want a cute and adorable but lighthearted mayhem, then you have to check out this new Souls-like called Plushie From The Sky. Slated for a PC release on May 6th, this is one quirky RPG that gives you the most unlikely weapon anyone would ever use during some form of an apocalypse, which is a cuddle bear plushie. Don't be fooled by the adorable exterior though, because this plushie is pretty much your main and only weapon. You will utilize this plushie to attack. Plushie From The Sky pretty much offers a refreshing take on the action RPG genre, pretty much injecting humor and lightheartedness into the combat while still providing a satisfying challenge to players. Now, V Rising, I've covered this game throughout the years of its early access release, and it is another game that is leaving early access on May 8th. This is essentially a survival AR action RPG title by Stunlock Studios, a title that I've been keeping a close eye on prior to its launch, and I have been playing it on and off and supporting it on and off throughout its years in early access. You play as an ancient vampire that's been sleeping peacefully for years, and you finally awake, and you literally chose violence immediately on everything Vardaran has to offer. There's a lot to take in, so being prepared throughout your setup will be beneficial to transforming yourself into that vampire lord, from setting up your blood hearts to building an impenetrable fortress and then ruling the lands of Vardaran altogether. With Vardaran being broken up to 4 different main areas called Farbane Woods, which is your starting area, Dunley Farmlands, Cursed Mountains, Silverlight Hills, and one mini area called Hollow Mountains. Now, throughout the span of this early access, there's been so much like bug fixes, so much content added to the game, and even like a slight bit of DLC adding a new area, which is more of a technological advancement area. Each area is pretty much a home to many different enemy types, and Silverlight Hills is one of the only areas that is filled with actual humans, because it is scary because they use silver bullets that can really harm vampires, especially if you know your vampiric lore essentially. There are PvE and PvP servers, and everything is server based, so you have to keep track of it, similar to games like Rust and other survival games. I'm so happy to see that this game has been on this huge success over the past span of its early access, and it's finally getting that official release and leaving early access to join that 1.0 launch crew. Last but not least, we have Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, which is stated for release on Nintendo Switch May 23rd. Now, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door gives me nostalgia, because I definitely remember playing it back on the GameCube back in 2004. And now this right here is a upcoming Nintendo Switch remake of the exact same game, and being the first remake in the overall Paper Mario series. It was first announced during September 2023 Nintendo Direct. After the success of Super Mario RPG, Nintendo has decided to bless players with another remake from another beloved series. Essentially, this is a turn-based RPG following the adventures of Mario as he is in shape of paper. And I definitely miss the days of playing it on my GameCube and, you know, timing my attacks, making it feel like I'm playing like Legend of Dragoon and trying to actually deflect and time everything. I love the combat. I love how they did everything with the turn-based and the way, like, especially when you're on this theater and like the crowd can intervene and stuff. Like, it's gonna be cool seeing like all the new stuff that they add to this game. But May is full of hidden gems, and of course, with Paper Mario on the horizon being the biggest RPG of the month, these are definitely some cool indie games and RPGs releasing, kind of being more of a more relaxed month essentially than some of the heavy hitters that came back out in April. Thank you everyone for the 1,000 subs and helping this community become stronger. If you love indie games and RPGs, then definitely subscribe to the channel and like the episode for more. And as always, stay safe out there. It's been your host, KSD TV, here at Chaotic Inc., signing out. Peace.